BoA's career, which has spanned an impressive 25 years, is now on the line after a live stream scandal and some out-of-line comments about comedian Park Narae. This has fans wondering, can she overcome this scandal, or has her legacy been shattered for good? On April 5th, entertainer Jun Hyunmoo surprised fans by going live on Instagram, casually admitting that he had been drinking and that someone had encouraged him to start streaming. He explained that a friend had dropped by with his favorite alcohol and they were just enjoying a relaxed evening together. But what started as a chill hangout quickly took a turn when BoA unexpectedly joined the stream. At first, everything seemed playful and lighthearted. They joked around with BoA teasing Hyunmoo that he looked like actor Lee Jang-woo. But as the stream went on, their behavior started raising eyebrows. The two grew increasingly close. BoA leaned on his shoulder, touched his face, and even though someone asked if they were drunk, she denied it. Still, her slurred speech suggested otherwise. As the live stream continued, BoA talked about a fan encounter involving YouTuber Guido and laughed off the idea of appearing on I Live Alone, saying her home wasn't anything special. To some viewers, it looked like two longtime friends sharing an unfiltered night. But to others, the whole thing felt off, especially since the two aren't known to be dating. The unexpected closeness, the alcohol, and the live broadcast made for a moment that was as awkward as it was unforgettable. The comments from netizens said, "I find it so disgusting when people suddenly start doing skinship when they're drunk, and if they're not dating, it's even more disgusting. And I'd congratulate them if they were dating." Some people were really put off by how touchy the two got on camera, calling it awkward and too flirty for a live stream. Others were more bothered by the fact that they were casually drinking and showing it off, saying it felt like they were normalizing that kind of behavior. But not everyone felt that way. A lot of viewers just saw it as two adults having a harmless night and didn't think it was a big deal at all. But the real stir didn't come from the live stream itself. It was something BoA said that ended up rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. During the stream, she casually threw shade at comedian Park Narae, making remarks that many felt were unnecessary and a bit mean-spirited. Overall, many people thought that she had crossed the line multiple times during the stream. At one point, she started commenting on Hyunmoo's home, calling it messy and saying the design was terrible. She even mentioned the guest bathroom, saying it smelled bad and was disgusting. Hyunmoo laughed it off and joked that he'd probably need to renovate the whole place since all Narae did was criticize everything during her visit. But for a lot of viewers, it didn't come off as funny but as rude. The situation escalated when a viewer asked Hyunmoo during the live stream if the rumors about him dating Park Narae were true. But before Hyunmoo could even respond, BoA jumped in with a curt, "I don't think so." Even Hyunmoo seemed caught off guard, pointing out that she answered the question before he even had the chance to open his mouth. But instead of stopping there, BoA doubled down and said outright that Hyunmoo couldn't be dating Park Narae. When he asked if that was because she thought Park Narae was too good for him, BoA stunned everyone by replying, "No, you're too good for her." Hyunmoo, looking visibly flustered, checked if BoA really wanted to say that out loud during a live stream, reminding her that a lot of people were watching, but BoA brushed it off and said it didn't really matter. Hyunmoo joked that she was going off the rails, and BoA casually responded that she was more of an Africa TV person, implying that her way of speaking fit better on a less filtered, more casual platform. BoA's remark didn't sit well with a lot of people, especially because it seemed so unnecessary. Some felt like she genuinely meant what she said about Narae, and if that's the case, it only made the situation worse. A netizen wrote, "Bringing up Park Narae like that was seriously rude. What was that about?" Many suggested that both Hyunmoo and BoA should publicly apologize to Narae and the public, calling the whole ordeal a PR disaster. Some even accused BoA of trying to put Narae down to get attention from Hyunmoo. On the flip side, there were others who thought it wasn't a big deal. Fans in particular thought that people were overreacting and the whole situation didn't need to be taken so seriously, with one commenter writing, "Who cares? They're both adults. They can do harmless dumb things if they want." It was even argued that the situation wasn't as dramatic as it seemed, pointing out that Narae had supposedly made harsher remarks about Hyunmoo on I Live Alone without ever apologizing for them. While we can see that the reactions to the incident were divided, one thing was clear: SM Entertainment wasn't pleased. During the live stream, Hyunmoo mentioned that his manager had been calling non-stop, clearly alarmed by BoA's drunken antics. BoA joked that they were just worried about us, but the tension was obvious. It seemed like SM had stepped in, likely urging BoA to wrap up the live stream. As expected, by April 7th, BoA took to Weverse to issue an apology addressing both the public and Park Narae. She expressed regret for her comments, especially since Narae wasn't even there to defend herself. BoA also apologized to her fans for letting them down, promising to reflect on her actions and strive for more maturity moving forward. Just like everything about this incident, her apology was also met with mixed reactions. Some fans believed it was written by her management and criticized BoA for acting childish, while others felt the incident was blown out of proportion and that the apology should be enough. For them, it was just a simple mistake, and they hoped everyone would move on. Hyunmoo also took to Instagram Instagram a day later to issue an apology, acknowledging that he had been slow to make a public one. While he had already apologized to Narae privately right after the live stream, he felt it was important to make things right in front of everyone. He expressed his gratitude for Nare's understanding. Despite the uncomfortable situation he had put her in, Hyunwoo admitted that it was wrong to mention Narae while she wasn't even there and to go on live while drunk, acting carelessly. He concluded his message by apologizing to anyone who felt uneasy because of the incident, promising to be more mindful and considerate, especially towards those close to him. Surprisingly, Hyunwoo's apology was well received, with many fans praising his sincere tone and thoughtful words. Some even joked about feeling jealous of his eloquence. However, a few questioned why he felt the need to apologize in the first place, since it was BoA, not him, who had mentioned Narae. While it seemed that both apologies would wrap up the whole situation, things weren't exactly returning to normal, especially for BoA. During the same live stream, she briefly mentioned that she was working on her 25th anniversary album, as 2025 marks 25 years since her debut. However, this news was overshadowed by everything else that happened during the stream. On top of that, one of BoA's longtime fan sites, The Better, which had been active since her debut, shut down following the controversy. The site, which had fewer than 2,000 followers, posted a simple message on Twitter: "Thank you for the past 25 years." Despite its small following, the fact that the fan site, which had supported BoA for so long, closed down made many believe that the fallout from the live stream had caused lasting damage, with assumptions that BoA had lost support from some fans and netizens due to the incident. The situation worsened when Park Narae was absent from the April 8th broadcast of Son Tae-jin's Trot Radio. Her agency explained her absence by citing a drop in her condition, which was vague enough for the public to immediately start speculating, and most of the fingers were pointing towards BoA. Looking at comments on online forums, there were plenty of netizens who speculated that her comments about Narae had caused the latter so much distress that she didn't want to be in the public eye anymore. They blamed her for contributing to Narae's discomfort and decision to stay out of the spotlight, writing comments like, "BoA is a nuisance," and "Is it because of that?" Some even accused both BoA and Hyunwoo of lying on their apology posts and speculated that both of them had fallen out with Narae. However, the real reason for Narae's absence was the furthest thing away from BoA's comments because, as it turns out, her house had been broken into and robbed, so it would make sense that she wanted to be alone for a while. It just seemed like the public took advantage of bad timing and related BoA to problems that had already been solved. It's still too early to tell if this scandal will have a lasting impact on BoA's career. Her fans remain incredibly loyal, seeing the incident more as a poor decision than a major scandal. They believe the backlash is overblown, especially when compared to male idols and actors who faced much worse with far less criticism. While the companies involved haven't made any statements yet, the best approach right now seems to be letting the situation die down. After all, the Korean entertainment industry's biggest issues right now are far more serious than a grown woman drinking and going live. In the grand scheme of things, and among the many stupid scandals that BoA has had until now, it's sure that this won't be the thing that derails the career she has built for over 2 decades.